Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Timmy Treacle, also known as Horror Fan for Life. And my next top 10 list I'm going to be doing is my top 10 Dan Aykroyd movies. Dan Aykroyd has been doing movies since the late 70s, and he's done a lot of movies since then. His peak, I would have to say, is in the 80s and 90s. But he is one funny comedian. He is one half of the Blues Brothers, and he is just a funny comedian and actor. And I've seen a lot of his movies, but these are the 10 that I consider to be his best. So let's get right into it. Coming in at number 10 is Nothing But Trouble. This is a movie that not a lot of people have seen and probably even heard of. But Dan Aykroyd plays multiple roles in this movie, along with John Candy, and Demi Moore and Chevy Chase star in this movie as well. And it's a very underrated movie, in my opinion, and one I think you should definitely check out. I'm not going to give anything away because I want you guys to see the movie, but definitely check it out. You should be able to find it pretty much anywhere. Um, but it's got uh, some nice performances in it. It also has a appearance by a famous rapper in this movie as well. Actually, a couple, but I won't spoil that. I'll let you guys watch it for yourself. But yeah, this is a funny movie. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen Nothing But Trouble. Coming in at number 9 is Spies Like Us, starring Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase. They go through the school thinking that they're going to become spies, and really they are sent in as a couple of decoys, basically. Unbeknownst to them, though, they think they're actually spies, and they are trying to uh, be quiet and sneaky about what they are doing. Along the way, there's a classic scene in this movie that involves both Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, and Aykroyd's wife. And it is a hysterical scene in the movie where they're introduced as doctors, and other doctors that are in the tent with them, they go back and forth with it, announce themselves as doctor, and doctor. Yeah, it's just a great scene. But with Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd, they make it a great pair. Um, they play well off one another, and this is just a funny movie. And yeah, again, like I said, you'll see them again in the movie I just talked about, Nothing But Trouble, working together. So yeah, their collaborations are funny. I really wish they would have done some more movies together, but yeah, Spies Like Us, phenomenal comedy. Definitely check it out. Uh, Coming in at number 8 is The Great Outdoors. This is a very underrated movie, in my opinion. It didn't get a lot of love from the critics, but I don't ever pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes. Uh, but this movie stars John Candy, Dan Aykroyd. Candy is taking his family on vacation um, out in the wilderness where his father took him, and he wanted to take his son there, and blah, blah, blah. They get there, um, and Dan Aykroyd's character and his family decide to interrupt their vacation and join them. Along the way, there's a lot of bickering back and forth. There's a lot of funny scenes in the movie, especially with Dan pretty much ruining John's vacation. One scene, in fact, he drags him all over the lake on skis and then eventually on his rear end, which is hilarious. But this is a very quotable movie. It's an underrated movie, in my opinion. And just like uh, Carl says on Family Guy, I asked Meg, "Have you seen The Great Outdoors?" And she said no. And he's like, "You suck." Exactly. If you haven't seen The Great Outdoors, you suck. Uh, but yeah, it's a funny movie. Definitely check it out. Comes in at number 8. Number 7 is Dragnet. Number 6 is Tommy Boy. Although he has more of a smaller role in this movie, it is still freaking hilarious. He plays Zelensky, an auto parts king, who's trying to buy out the factory from Tommy's hometown, and he basically pulls one over on Zelensky and gets him to buy all these brake pads, and doesn't end up selling him the factory after all. But they got some great scenes together. It's really funny, and it comes in at number 6. Number 5 is Neighbors. Now, before you get this confused with Seth Rogen and his Neighbor movies, this is a movie from the 1980s, starring Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. They end up being neighbors on this dead-end street. It's a circle road with the 2 homes. Aykroyd's character moves in into the empty house, and from there they keep playing one joke after another on John Belushi's character. Sets him up for a lot of goofy situations, but it is a really funny movie. It's very underrated. It does have some other SNL alum in the movie as well, which you'll recognize once you watch the movie. But this is a very underrated film, one that's very, very funny. And I love the duo of Belushi and Aykroyd. I really wish John would have lived, and they would have done so many more movies together. Especially, could you imagine seeing John Belushi playing Peter Venkman in Ghostbusters? Because that was the original setup. Belushi was going to be Peter Venkman, but he died before they even got the production started. So Bill Murray was brought in to be Peter Venkman, which, if you're going to replace a great actor, you might as well replace him with another one. And they made a great choice. But yeah, it definitely would have been different, but still would have been a funny-ass movie. But yeah, Neighbors comes in at number 5. Number 4 is My Girl. Number 3 is Trading Places. Trading Places is a great Christmas comedy starring Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy, and Jamie Lee Curtis. You have these rich guys who Winthorpe works for, who make a bet saying that they can take Winthorpe and Murphy's character, Billy Ray Valentine, and switch them up, and that Billy Ray could do a better job at Winthorpe's job than he could, and vice versa. So what they do is they make this bet, and so they set up Winthorpe so they could fire him, and not only fire him, but he ends up in jail for drugs and whatnot. Clarence Speaks is the guy who helps with the setup, played by Paul Gleason, rest in peace. And so they make the switch. Billy Ray Valentine comes in to work for them. They basically buy and sell products, gold, bacon, all those different orange juice. And Billy Ray ends up doing a phenomenal job. And their plan was to switch them back after the holidays. But after what Winthorpe does and puts them through, they really decided that they don't want him back after all. But the guys find out what the Dukes did, and so they flip it on them and basically try to put them in the poorhouse. It's a funny movie. Jamie Lee Curtis is freaking gorgeous. And yes, there is a boob scene with Jamie Lee Curtis. Don't get me wrong, they're beautiful, okay? But that's not what all the movie's all about. It's not just her boobs. But it's a funny movie. I love the characters. And yeah, Trading Places comes in at number 3. Number 2 and number 1 were really tough. They were neck and neck, and it was it's a flip a coin for me. They both could be 1 and 2 because they're freaking phenomenal movies. But for me, I put number 2 as the Blues Brothers. Again, Aykroyd, Belushi, their chemistry is phenomenal. This is based off the Saturday Night Live skit, the Blues Brothers Band, was actually a real band. They went on tour. They sold a lot of albums from their first album, and um, yeah, they still tour today, as far as I know. Dan Aykroyd and John Goodman, and sometimes he has uh, Jim Belushi stand in as well. So, but the Blues Brothers is a great comedy, directed by the great John Landis, and it's a musical comedy. There's a lot of great acts in this movie. Aretha Franklin um, is phenomenal. Uh, you have Ray Charles in this movie as well, along with scores of others. And it's just a lot of fun to sing along. And the comedy is great. You got Carrie Fisher and John Candy, Henry Gibson. You just got a phenomenal cast. And Blues Brothers still holds up today. Um, and I love it. It comes in at number 2. And of course, my number 1 is going to be Ghostbusters. Like I said, it was tough, but Ghostbusters comes in at number 1 for Dan Aykroyd. I love the characters in this movie. Um, Dan Aykroyd is really funny. I love the scene when he first runs into Slimer, and Slimer is pretty much supposed to be the ghost of John Belushi, because in the movie, Slimer is pretty much a disgusting blob. And that was the running joke with John, is John loves to eat, and he was really messy, but that's who he was. And that was a little homage to John, is by making a ghost called Slimer. And yeah, it's just phenomenal. But the Ghostbusters movie is phenomenal. It still holds up well today, and nobody steps on a church in my town. So, but yeah, great movie, great quotable lines, and it's just a lot of fun. So, but there you have it. Those are my top 10 Dan Aykroyd movies. In the comment section below, give me your top 10 Dan Aykroyd movies. If you don't have a top 10, then just drop a few down there. And let me know what you thought about my list. Did you agree with it? Did you not agree with it? Let me know, and let's have a great discussion about this. Other than that, if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you like this video, hit that like button, and share this video on your social media as you see fit to. Other than that, stay tuned for more top 10 lists. I thank you guys for watching, and check you later.